And as important as Magician Lord was, the game that really defined, I'd say, the later years of the Neo Geo was Metal Slug. When you think of Neo Geo, you think Metal Slug. Everybody does. That amazing, groundbreaking action, side view action game. What a wonderful, wonderful game. And it's funny. It never got boring to me, and I know they kind of milked it a little bit near the end. But number 3 was the highlight of the series for me. Number 3 was one of my favorites, but the original is just groundbreaking. I remember checking that out, and I'd never seen hand-drawn sprites that looked that good. I was like, holy, they hand drew this? And just the attention to love and detail and the animation of the Metal Slug series all the way to the end was a highlight of the Neo Geo career, and it's so funny, you'll never see a moment like that in video games again. And I think no matter what person you are, I think everybody loves Metal Slug. I personally think so. I've never met anybody who didn't like Metal Slug. I'm sure somebody will be like, I hate Metal Slug, but Metal Slug is one of those kind of series that I think anybody can pick up and play, and anybody can get immediate enjoyment out of Metal Slug. It's that great of a series, and as I say, define the Neo Geo. A couple of games I didn't play back in the day was Neo Turf Masters and Super Sidekicks 3. I never actually played those games. I saw them being played, they looked pretty cool, but I think I was too busy playing Magician Lord at the time or something, so I kind of glossed over those back in the Neo Geo days. Wow, I don't think I've actually talked about this game, and I really wanted to, and that is, I think the very first place I ever saw it was in Hawaii, and that is Samurai Showdown. And the thing that was groundbreaking about Samurai Showdown, in case anybody has forgotten, is that you could use weapons in a fighting game. At that time, it was all Street Fighter, Fatal Fury, beating the crap out of each other just with your hands type of thing. Where this game was like, everybody's pulling out swords, everybody's got swords, the entire game is about swords. And I remember seeing it, and I couldn't believe how freaking cool it was. I remember when Harumaru, threw up his sword and then caught it behind him. And I just remember sitting there in this arcade going, oh my god, that is so cool. I couldn't believe it. And the blood sprays on certain characters, that was a huge big deal back then. And the one thing, I know this is kind of amazing too, is that I used to stick my ear right to the sound, where the sound was coming out of these machines, just to hear the music. And I remember Samurai Showdown's musical score still sticks with me today. What a great score of a soundtrack. I still listen to Samurai Showdown 1, especially Earthquake stage. That was a great stage music. I love that. But Samurai Showdown was a really big deal of a game when it came out, and I was just so taken by it. It's just amazing. I remember after I finished playing the game, I went back up to my hotel room with my parents because I was a young kid, and I remember just drawing pictures of Samurai Showdown. I mean, I was so inspired by it because I love Street Fighter, and then to know that you could play a fighting game just with swords, I couldn't get over that concept. Now everyone's like, of course you can play with swords, but then it was like, wow, that's very, very cool. Another great game of the Neo Geo, Sengoku, and this series, the very first one was pretty good. It's like Final Fight, obviously, but you can use weapons and all that kind of stuff. Side view, action brawler type of game. The one thing I'll say about the series, it got better. With each game, the graphics got better, the gameplay got better, because the first one is a very simple game. It really is. You're just kind of going, slash, but the mechanics of the game get a lot better as the series progressed, and I don't own any of those games, but I realize its place in history. I used to play it all the time back then. A lot of love coming to the screen for Shock Troopers. Oh my god, this game is so good, and my favorite obviously is Shock Troopers 2. I played the hell out of that in arcades. But Shock Troopers 1 is a great game, and what it is about, it's an overhead kind of action game, and you're running around, running and gunning. It's a two-player game, up to a two-player game, but so much fun. Cartoony graphics are just awesome to look at. Fun explosions, all that, but it's just got some charm to it. I love Shock Troopers. Shock Troopers was a great concept and executed extremely well. Shock Troopers 2 is where it's at. I finished that game more times in an arcade than any other Neo Geo game. I just always put my quarters in. We're like, you got to do this game, you know, got to get to the end of this game. And it's very simple. It's a quarter muncher. Trust me. You put in a quarter. You're getting killed. You're shooting the hell out of things. You're getting killed. But you're having so much fun and some fun bosses, especially in Shock Troopers 2. Like an entire building attacks you. It's wild stuff. Definitely, that's another one I highly recommend on this collection is the Shock Troopers game. I think a lot of people, overpassed it, or they'd moved on to other things, but Shock Troopers is definitely one not to be forgotten. Here's my excitement. I remember reading, I think it was in a Die Hard Game Fan magazine, that they were making this game called King of Fighters. Had no idea what it was about. I knew it was on the Neo Geo. It was a fighting game. Sounded good to me, but it was later on I actually bought a Famitsu magazine, and it had it was at that time the very first time I'd seen the King of Fighters. I think that magazine at the time cost me like 20 bucks. Back then, buying Famitsu was a very expensive thing. And Famitsu is a Japanese gaming magazine. It's an awesome one too. What was so amazing in this Famitsu magazine is it had, as I say, a 2-page spread on this brand new game, the King of Fighters 94. And what was amazing at the time is it wasn't just another fighting game. This game was really changing the entire fighting genre in a way, because what it was introducing was, for the first time ever, it was taking different characters from all these different Neo Geo fighting games, putting them all into one, letting you all fight against each other, but also making teams. And at that time, you'd never seen teams in a fighting game. Street Fighter didn't do that. No other fighting game was doing that the same way, that you could have these 3-player teams. You could pick whoever you wanted and then go against each other. What a cool concept of a game, and that's what made the King of Fighters so important of a game. And that's why all the sequels did extremely well, and it was a very well received game on the Neo Geo. Everybody loves the King of Fighters. Well, actually, some people do. Some people don't like it. They think they either did Street Fighter or they did King of Fighters. A lot of people didn't like King of Fighters, I should say, but I liked the King of Fighters. I thought it was a great game. But I remember the one thing that got me is the soundtrack. Again, I still have the soundtrack in the other room. Beautiful, fantastic music. That really got me. But at the time, the graphics were incredible, and just to see all the different characters from all the different fighting games on the Neo Geo in one fighting game, wow. I remember writing a list going, oh god, I'd love to save up for Neo Geo and the King of Fighters 94, but that would have been for a bit more time, that was for sure. But god damn it, that King of Fighters 94 is still a huge Neo Geo game for me. And I don't own it, which is really ridiculous, but it's such a huge game. It really, when I think about my excitement for the Neo Geo, I always think back to my excitement for the King of Fighters 94 and how much I was looking forward to that game. And then the very first time I got a chance to play it, it lived up to all those expectations. And groundbreaking game on the Neo Geo. Another game that doesn't get enough love is Top Hunter. Holy. Well, I remember the very first time I saw this playing on the Neo Geo, it was incredible. The animation, and that's what gets me about this game, the animation, and it still holds up really well. I gotta say this about Neo Geo games in general, they hold up extremely well now. They still look really beautiful. But Top Hunter, I think it takes marks as being one of the most beautiful games on the Neo Geo. I can't get over that. But it was a fun goddamn game. So definitely check out Top Hunter. It's I'd say a bit of an underappreciated game on the Neo Geo. A lot of people have passed up on that one. And it's kind of an underground game. I'd actually kind of say that too. Last, but certainly not least, here is another fighting game on the Neo Geo. And a really big one. I can't tell you why this game was so cool when it came out. Maybe it was Hanzo, maybe it was Fuma. I don't know what it was, but it was World Heroes. And maybe it was that you could fight, you could use different heroes from different time periods and fight against each other. Maybe that was it. But I think it was just the graphics, and I loved Hanzo and Fuma. I thought they were the coolest characters back then. I used to love the Japanese stage that you'd fight in. I used to love that. And I used to love the bonus stage where you'd be beating the crap out of this column of stone and kind of turn it into this like muscular figure. That was kind of cool. You actually carved it yourself by beating the crap out of it. I always loved that. World Heroes was a great series, and I really loved the second one. The second one was really good. I used to sit in the arcades and practice combos on World Heroes 2. I remember coming with hand zone. I'd come in and I'd do the knee, then the sweep, then the strong kick, and then into a throwing a shuriken. I love doing that stuff. And to my opponents, I thought it was a lot of cool. That's when combos were first getting introduced. They'd been introduced in Street Fighter, and World Heroes had completely accepted the combo system of kind of like Street Fighter and was using it in its own game, and in it extremely well, actually. I love the combos that you can pull off in World Heroes 2. So a lot of fun to look back on some great memories with the Neo Geo, with SNK's Arcade Classics 1, a really good compilation. I really like it, and I'm going to try something a little different here. I'm going to actually open this up to all of you guys. These were my memories, but what are your memories of the Neo Geo, first playing it and enjoying it, and all the great games in the arcade and on the home system? Make a video response. I would absolutely welcome and love to see that. I'd love to see some of your memories on the Neo Geo. It was such a wonderful, wonderful machine. So, guys, thank you very much. Until next time.